Welcome students. Today we will start the new lesson, the lesson number 5, language of chemistry. So students, in language of chemistry we are going to learn about the chemical reaction, then conditions necessary for these chemical reactions, and which are the reactants and which are the product. Before going to that our chemical reactions, I want to give some introduction about this language of chemistry. Students, chemistry involves the study of a large numbers of elements and compounds that also have been learned earlier with their representation by their shorthand notations, that is symbols and formulae. As it is not convenient to write full names of the elements and compounds, the use of symbols has made the job of the chemist very easy. And chemistry also involves the occurrence of a large number of chemical reactions that are written in the form of equations. And students, these are called as a chemical equations. Students, our first topic from this lesson is the chemical reactions. What is mean by chemical reaction? Any change in matter which involves its transformation into one or more new substances is chemical change. And students, this is also called as a chemical reaction. Students, in chemical reaction, it involves the transfer of energy. The substances that undergo for the chemical change are called as a reactants. And after completing the reaction, the new substances or new substance form, that is called as a product. So students, always remember, both reactants and products are the pure substances, that is elements and compounds. For example, so hydrogen reacts with oxygen, it forms water. So hydrogen and oxygen are the reactants and a new substance is formed, that is the water. Students, in this reaction, hydrogen and oxygen are the elements that undergo for chemical change and it forms the new substance, that is the water. And this water is a compound. The water is having the properties that is different from hydrogen and oxygen. But what happened to hydrogen and oxygen molecules during the reaction? The atoms of oxygen and hydrogen in their molecules rearrange themselves to form the water molecule. And when this water molecule is forming, the one water molecule containing the two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen. So students, in that way the reaction is complete. So students, now you clear about that. What is mean by reactant and what is mean by product? Now it has been observed that total mass of the reactants together is equal to the total mass of product. That is the mass of substances before and after the chemical reaction, that after the chemical reaction or chemical change remains the same. So that is the mass of the substances before and after the chemical change remains the same. This is possible when the total number of atoms of each kind remains same before and after the chemical reaction. So students, the meaning of this sentence is that the number of atoms on the reactant side are equal to the number of atoms of the product side. That time only it is possible. The total mass of reactant side is equal to the total mass of the product side. So students, this is possible when only this condition. So students, this is supported by the law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass states that matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can transfer from only one form to the another form during the chemical reaction. For example, student, sodium oxide react with water. The new product is forming, that is sodium hydroxide. In this reaction, the sodium oxide and water both are compounds. They react with each other chemically and giving the new compound that is called as a sodium hydroxide. Potassium chlorate, when we are heating, potassium chloride and oxygen are forming. So, this chemical reaction involves the combination of two or more elements combine or reacting with each other to form the new substances, or it may involve the splitting of compound into two or more element and compound. Students, it also involves reaction between elements and compound or two compounds to give the more than one product. So in that way, students, the chemical reactions are going on. For this explanation, I want to explain to you one activity. Listen about this activity. For this example, I want to explain one activity. So students, first clean a magnesium ribbon about 2 cm long by rubbing it with sandpaper. Second step we have to do, hold it with a pair of tongs, burn it using a spirit lamp or burner and collect the ash so form in a watch glass. Burn the magnesium ribbon, keeping it as far away as possible from eyes. What do you observe? You must have observed that magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white flame and changes into a white powder. This powder is magnesium oxide. It is formed due to the reaction between magnesium and oxygen. This oxygen present in the air, and the new product is the magnesium oxide. So students, here we learn about the chemical reaction, then reactant and product, and the law of conservation of the mass. And after that, students, our next topic is that conditions necessary for the chemical reaction. And the first condition is necessary for the chemical reaction is the close contact. For a chemical reaction to take place, the reactants must come into close contacts. Mix means, students, they should be mixed. For example, sodium reacts with water violently when they come in contact with each other to produce new substances, sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Without contact, no reaction takes place. Therefore, in the laboratory, sodium is stored in kerosene oil, even to prevent its contact with moisture. Second condition is that solution form. Some substances react with each other only when they are mixed in the solution form. For example, when sodium chloride solution is added to silver nitrate solution, a white precipitate of silver chloride and a soluble sodium nitrate are formed. If solid sodium chloride and silver nitrate are mixed together, no change takes place. The some conditions are important. So that is, solution form is important for some chemical reaction. The third condition is the heat. Some reactants need to be heated to undergo a chemical change. For example, potassium chlorate on heating decomposes to produce two new products, that is potassium chloride and oxygen. Iron and sulfur, when we are giving the heat to this mixture together, they react with each other and produce the new substance, that is the iron sulfide. But students, without heating, they do not react with each other, even they are in contact with each other. So some reactants need to be heated for their chemical change. The fourth condition is the light, and you know that the process of photosynthesis, the photosynthesis process never completed without the light. Sunlight is very important. So some chemical reaction takes place in the presence of light, and the best example is the photosynthesis. And in this process, carbon dioxide and water react in the presence of chlorophyll and sunlight to produce glucose and oxygen. These are the product. Fifth condition is the catalyst. So students, some chemical reactions are needed, the catalyst. This catalyst is speed up or slow down the chemical reaction. So students, catalyst is also the chemical substance. First clear this, what is meant by catalyst. So catalyst is the substance which help for the chemical reaction to speed or to low the rate of reaction, but without undergoing any change. Catalyst will not show any chemical change, only it is helping for the chemical reaction. For example, manganese dioxide acts as a catalyst for the decomposition of potassium chlorate into potassium chloride and oxygen at a lower temperature. Students, manganese dioxide does not undergo any change in its chemical reaction, in its chemical composition. Only it speed up or it low the rate of the reaction. Always remember, catalyst not undergo any chemical change. Always remember students, catalyst did not undergo any chemical change. So students, now you clear the concept of this catalyst. We completed here about the conditions necessary for the chemical reaction. Students, today we started our new lesson, language of chemistry. In that lesson we started first what is mean by chemical reaction, what is mean by reactant, what is mean by product. Then we learn about the conditions necessary for the chemical reaction. And students, today we learn about the law of conservation of the mass. Always remember, the conditions necessary for the chemical reactions are the first one is close contact, second one is the solution form, third one is the heat, fourth one is the light, and fifth one is the catalyst. So students, today here we completed our part first from lesson number 5. Thank you.